Hey everybody. So I've been working on this design for a while. It's like a little mini briefcase for cards. And this is just like a little sample that I glued up. Didn't really work that well, but I think I have the final dimensions and stuff done. So I have a rough pattern here, and we're going to make what hopefully is the final version. If it works out, the pattern will be in the description. If it doesn't, we're going to fail together today. So let me get this pattern cut out and we'll get started. So I have, this is some Herman Oak London Tan Bridal, and the pattern's super simple. That was the idea of it. It's just like a little two-piece pattern, but then it's going to make this like big dimensional card holder that holds like a bunch of, I'm thinking business cards, like you have a stack of business cards that you can hand out in something like this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the pattern to this, and then I think we're going to line it because I did like a half liner on the first one, and it came out really weird. So I have some, well, we'll get to that once this is all traced out. So I have some of this, this is some old stuff in the scrap bin, but it's super thin and it's tumbled, so it's really soft. I'm gonna use this as a liner for the main body part. So probably just gonna go here where the tumbled is. Sometimes when you get tumbled hides, it'll be tumbled in the main body and then it'll kind of smooth out, which is great. You can use this stuff for other stuff too, but it's always interesting to see how the tumbling works. So there's a good bit of tumbling right here. The flap of my wallet's going to be here, so I'm going to place this kind of like this, and then just make like a little pencil mark so I know kind of where to glue. There. The reason I'm using a tumbled leather on this design for the liner is because there's going to be a couple tight bends in it, in the piece once it's folded up. And when you're doing tight bends and you have two pieces glued together, a lot of the times you'll glue them with the bend. I don't have really, this is like a weird piece where I probably need to build like a little wooden jig for that, and I don't have one. So by using a tumbled leather that's already, the grain's kind of been broken, it's gonna fold in these tight positions without like really wrinkling up because it's already tumbled. So you can see right there as it bends, it just kind of goes with the natural grain of the tumbled leather. So that's why we're using that. After we do this, I'm gonna do a little skiving, and I am also leaving, the flap is gonna be on this side. I'm leaving this to do after because this is a new pattern. We're gonna get it together and we'll get all the shapes done in this sample, and then I'll put that in the pattern once this is all done. Maybe I'll put a flat version too, so you can pick the shape that you'd like if you want to try this out, if it works. So next we got to do a little skiving on our sides. I'm just going to put this in between these two blocks while I'm skiving on top of it, just to kind of give that glue a little weight to set for a while. And then we have our two little wings here. I have my wing dividers, and I'm gonna just get a little rough line that will guide me in my skiving so that it's uniform all around. And I'm skiving this because these are going to be bent as like a gusset. So this is like a little mini briefcase. So skiving it and removing a little material make it a little more flexible and make it easier to glue up. So I have to stitch across the top of this before we start putting it all together, but I'm going to use the little rougher leather rougher tool. First, just lightly on this leather because it does have a little bit of oil in it, it feels like. And I still haven't really gotten the hang of this yet, but it does work really well, so the only way to learn is to keep using it. And then we'll get the top of this sewn up and burnished before we put it all together. Got some new white Ritz Tiger thread. I use the 0.6 millimeter. So we're going to use white on this. Just keep it nice and simple. Now this gusset, we got it done, and I would definitely suggest the skiving helps a ton. And what you're going to want to do is kind of just go slow and use your bone folder to work. Use that gusset as kind of like a natural folding point, and I just worked it in. It's difficult. I'm going to be completely honest here. It's not the easiest little thing I've done, but we're literally just building like a gusset you would use on a bag, only in a very, very small form. But this is looking great. So now all we have to do is I'm going to stitch around this side and around this side, and then we'll get the shape of our flap figured out. We'll cut that and we'll stitch around the outside of the flap. Should be good to go. Alright, so I rounded the corners here. I think that looks best. So I'll put that in the pattern, and then I also installed the snap. Got the location for everything done. So I think this is our final sample. This is going to work out well. So all we have to do now is stitch around on the top, and then we got to really do some edge work here. Anytime you get like a gusset like this, at least for me, it always requires a lot of sanding and working the edges to get them nice. So that's what we're going to do. And here we go. It came out really well. I like this curve. It's really cool. I always do them like a gusseted pouch, like a gusseted wallet like this. I always do it with these two sides attaching, but this loose. Sewing it all the way around just makes it adds a level of detail that's just really rad. And then on the inside, this holds a ton of cards. These are like the super thick cut business cards. You could probably hold double regular business cards in these, and I'd say there's probably 20 here, so you could probably hold 40 or 50. And of course, if you want to hold more, this is a 1 inch wide gusset. You could make it 1 1/4, you could make it 1.5 inches. But overall, yeah, it came out super nice. I love the lining is a little bit different color with the tumbled, adds a little more detail. It's a good project. So in making this, I realized it's only 2 pieces. So why don't we do this? We're going to do the pattern for free on Weaver's website. So it'll be the first link in the description, and you can go get the pattern, make it for yourself. I'm going to add the curves and the snaps and all that kind of stuff to it now that we have our final. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.